Speaking Human.
Today on Speaking Human, we prepare for the impending rise of the machines by discussing Marble's food delivery robot and speculating on some other ways brands could start putting robots to work. Round up Wally, Hal 9000, and Johnny 5, because this podcast is about to fry your circuits.
Speaking Human.
Welcome to Speaking Human, where we simplify the world of marketing for humans. I'm Shad Conley, and with me is my co-host, Patrick, the Iron Giant Jebber. What's up, Iron Giant?
That's what they call me, the Iron Giant.
Who calls you that?
Well, no one, actually. You know why? Because I'm nothing like the Iron Giant, and I'm not big. I'm not metal.
I'm going to be honest, I never saw the Iron Giant. I don't know anything about him.
Well, I'm glad we referenced him in the podcast.
A lot of people tune into a podcast to hear people talk about things they don't know anything about.
That's true.
Yeah. We love people without knowledge. Anyway, before we start talking about things we do know something about, we have an announcement to make. Got a pretty big giveaway going on right now at speakinghuman.com. Patrick, do you want to tell the people, the listeners out there, what we're giving away and how they can get it?
What is the prize, you ask? Apple AirPods.
Ooh.
What do you have to do to enter? The entry is simple. You just have to sign up for our weekly email newsletter called Speaking Human Weekly. What? Go to speakinghuman.com. The giveaway goes until May 26th. The winner will be announced on May 29th, which is the following Monday. So it's a cool giveaway. And it's Apple AirPods. You could listen to the podcast with your new Bluetooth Apple headphones that are wireless. They're wireless and Bluetooth, which is the same thing.
Yeah, you can listen to this very podcast if you enter now at speakinghuman.com and your name is drawn and you win these AirPods. Maybe, 2 episodes from now, you'll be listening on your brand new AirPods, which would be real cool.
Just another wonderful example of how Speaking Human is giving back to the humans that love Speaking Human.
We love you, humans. We want to give you something. So head to speakinghuman.com, enter now to win AirPods. So don't waste any time. Just do it right now. All right, so let's get back to robots. Here's our kickoff question today, Patrick. It's a good one. Who's your favorite robot, real or fictional, and why?
Mine would have to be Johnny 5 from the movie Short Circuit. He's from my childhood, and I have very fond memories of watching those movies. He was cute. He had personality. He wasn't just your typical robot.
Well, after he got struck by lightning and came alive.
Right. He just wanted to live, but they wanted to take that from him. They wanted him to be a weapon. And all he wanted to do was live his life in peace. Read books really fast, just like scooting them along with his little tiny robot hands.
Yeah, obviously a very popular and memorable robot for people who grew up in the 80s. Kind of a goof. The thing I would say is most notable about him as a robot is that he had eyebrows.
Yeah, he had weird eyebrows.
Robot eyebrows that he used to express with.
Yeah, his eyes and his tread kind of reminded me a lot of Wall-E.
I guess Wall-E came after, so they probably ripped him off, huh? Lawsuit written all over it.
Yeah.
So I'm the one who made up this question, by the way. And after I thought about it, I'm like, it's kind of a dumb question. Rather than what's your favorite robot, the question probably should have been, what robot would you most want to have? That might change your answer a little bit. You'd be like, this Johnny 5 is driving me up a wall. Get this thing out of here. But when I thought about it that way, and the one who immediately came to mind was surprisingly current, Case and Tars from Interstellar. Do you remember the robots in Interstellar?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good choice. I totally forgot about those guys.
Yeah, big, blocky. They're not your typical robots that you see in movies, which resemble humans in some way, like having arms or eyes or something like that. These robots are totally different, but they're kind of those all-purpose utility robots. They give you information at your fingertips. They can keep you company. They can run, and they can save your life. They just do all these different things, and I thought they were really cool and maybe the most realistic kind of version of what robots could be like in 50 years or something. They also had honesty and humor settings. I remember at one part in the movie, they're like, My honesty setting is at 90% because sometimes lying is good.
Yeah. They were probably the comic relief of that movie.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's a pretty serious movie for the most part.
Yeah.
They provide that too, but they're the Google of robots. They're just there to kind of do everything you need.
Those are good robot choices. If you actually had to have one of the robots, maybe that would change my opinion. But Johnny Five was pretty cool. If you think about it, we actually chose kind of the same type of robot because your robots, if you remember from Interstellar, they were originally military robots, remember?
Oh, that's true. That's
and they
right.
repurposed them for space exploration or whatever. Interesting.
And Johnny Five didn't want to be a military robot,
Right.
as I recall.
Right.
I actually rewatched Short Circuit maybe 5 to 7 years ago. Does not hold up well at all.
Oh, I'm sure. That stuff dates itself pretty quick.
Yeah, and Johnny Five's just kind of annoying. I think if you had an hour of him in your house, you would be like, go outside for a while and do something.
To go play in the street. So do you think we're getting close to a robot future? The kind that at least we were promised in the sci-fi movies?
Kind of, but not the way the movies have presented it. Not these like humanoid robots, but we're seeing more machines, Google Home and Amazon Echo, these like machines that I kind of consider robots, you know, entering into our lives and now, like the one we'll be talking about, moving through our world a little bit. I just think they're going to be more machine-like for a long time.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think we're not quite there yet. If you ask me this question in a decade, in like another 10 years, I might answer you very differently than I would today. But I think we're not even close, you know? The biggest hurdle is, you know, obviously being self-aware. We're not, I don't think, anywhere close to that. I know that they're working on artificial intelligence, but they're definitely not close to that level.
Yeah, it's hard to even picture, you know, a lot of the movies have like the robots are just kind of rolling around in our world, and it's hard to imagine that world. We're so far away, it's hard to imagine you walk down the street and there's like 25 robots performing different tasks as you go.
I would agree with that. Who knows? It could be very real here in another 10 years.
Yeah. In a minute, we'll talk about real robots rolling down the streets of San Francisco to deliver your takeout order. But first, let's get a quick word from our sponsor.
Today's sponsor is Farmers Insurance. Insurance can be confusing, overwhelming, and time-consuming. At Hire Insurance Agency, we remove the guesswork and hassle, helping you protect what matters most. We offer a wide range of auto, home, business, and life insurance policies to help you meet your specific needs. Call 844-543-3463 or visit hireinsurance.com. That's HYRE insurance.com for more information.
Residents in San Francisco's Mission and Potrero Hill neighborhoods might be surprised next time they open the door for the takeout delivery guy. San Francisco-based robotics startup Marble has launched a partnership with Yelp Eat24, adding its small cargo-carrying robots to Eat24's delivery fleet. Marble staff follow along remotely from their offices and help with tasks like crossing a busy intersection. During the introductory phase, at least one employee walks alongside the robot to answer questions and make sure everything goes smoothly.
That was an audio clip from a Wall Street Journal video profiling a fleet of food delivery robots from a San Francisco startup called Marble. The automated edible transporters are part of a program being tested out by Yelp Eat24, a food delivery app. So the big question here, is this a novelty or an early glimpse into the future?
That is the big question, huh? I'm going to say it's too early to call. What do you think on this, Patrick?
I would say this iteration of their robot delivery is probably not the one that will succeed.
I agree with you. You know, it's the epitome of a beta test kind of thing. You know, we're just starting it out in this local area with limited capabilities and just watching and seeing how this works out. So it's still really early in this testing. You know, it's not really like a polished service in any way, but it is showing you where they're thinking and where they're looking, and an idea that I think is solid.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid idea. If you've got a working product like this, you know, you could pretty much write your own ticket. because everyone wants a piece of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I almost think any business of a substantial size with some limitations of industry should be testing out a robot in some way. Not necessarily, like a marketing agency should have robots on staff, but if you're any sort of delivery or, certain retail things, that you should be at least looking in this direction.
Why can't we have robots on staff?
We can. We could have a couple of robots doing Speaking Human. Ironic.
Wouldn't be necessarily a good idea
Sense,
either.
though. They might be better than us.
Probably.
I'd like to hear them talk about their favorite robots.
My favorite robot.
Johnny 5 is offensive.
Yeah. So do you think this is good marketing and branding for Marble and Yelp Eat 24?
Oh, absolutely. I think we've said on the podcast before, innovation is pretty much a form of PR and marketing. Just doing these things, if you're far enough ahead of the curve, you're going to get some attention for it. And this has gotten a lot of attention, I think, because people are fascinated by this idea. So in that department, it's always going to pay off to be looking into these areas. And we were just talking about this sci-fi future. If you're doing something that's moving us in that direction, people are going to want to hear about it. People are going to be interested in it. I know if I lived in San Francisco, I would order just to check it out.
Yeah. Robots, drones, automated delivery, and vehicles. I mean, it's all the rage right now.
Yeah. It's essentially like a box, right? And they open it up, put the delivery order in there, lock it up, and then take it to where they're delivering it to, the person they're delivering it to, who has a code, I guess, to open it up. But as it goes down the street, it has a person walking along with it, partly to watch what it's doing, though they're also monitoring it from their headquarters, but also to answer people's questions about it. Because you just saw this thing going down the street. That's the one big question I have with this, and maybe these kind of robot applications in general. How are people going to treat a robot independently moving down the street? Is someone just going to come up and kick it down, or take it?
Yeah, I always wonder that too, Most people, I think, generally speaking, will most likely just go about their way, right? It'll become a normal, everyday thing. But there's always those people, right? What's to say somebody's not going to try to steal that thing or damage it? Like you said, kick it or throw something at it or whatever. And I get that it's got cameras and stuff, but that has never stopped anybody before from mugging somebody or, you know what I mean?
That's the other thing with the design with these. They're going to have to think about some sort of security measures or monitoring so that people aren't, one, stealing it or even like spray painting it or, some goofball's just going to put their trash on top of it. I wonder how kind humans on the street will be to robots. If it's like 11 o'clock at night in San Francisco and this robot's rolling down the road, say there's a bunch of them, and they're all over the place. It's not just like one or two. This has become integrated. How will people treat robots? Will there be robo discrimination? Will people be mean to the robots? That's the one big wild card to me.
Robot muggings.
Yeah, robot muggings. But it's an interesting idea. Like I said, everybody should be looking to this. How can this help? Putting robots in their stores or having robots deliver their product. We know Amazon's, looking into drones and stuff. I don't know. I wonder how widespread behind the curtain companies are looking at this stuff.
I always come back to is I always think there's going to be a social commentary on how robots will take jobs from people. I feel like that's the biggest concern, obviously, and one that I feel like I'm sensitive to personally, but that's where a lot of places are like, well, I'm not going to give that job to a robot when I think there's people who can actually do that job. Real people, right?
Yeah, I think there are definitely those economic fears associated with it. I even read something, one of the interviews from Marble, somebody asked them about that. And they were saying, none of these operate without a human. And I think that's a lot of the counter argument for a lot of this stuff. You're creating jobs within the making of these things, manufacturing of these things, operation of these things, maintenance of these things. I mean, at least at this point, there's still a lot of human involvement.
Yeah, just babysitting them is creating jobs for real people as opposed to just the robots, At least at this point. We'll be in trouble when the robots can fix the robots and make the robots.
Yeah. Once they do get to a certain level where they can do more things than we can, then we're kind of in trouble.
Yeah, agreed.
What do you think? As a food delivery service, do you think this has potential in a future?
Yeah, I mean, I do. It's definitely the future. There's no way of getting around the fact that this is the direction that the world is going to go.
It's undeniable.
Yeah.
It's why we're talking about this right now. even. You know, it may still be hard to wrap your brain around, but you're right. Compared to 5 years ago, even the stuff that's going on with AI is crazy. I mean, we're just at another level that it's getting to this point where we're on the verge of this potentially happening in these sort of ways.
Yeah.
Still a little gimmicky, but it's coming.
Yeah. The problem is it has to be really convenient, and it's got to work as intended, because otherwise you wouldn't regularly use it, and then it wouldn't make sense for them to keep developing it and managing it. You know what I mean? Regular use is crucial to the adoption of this thing.
Yeah, but everything has to start somewhere, so I guess this is the starting point, and it's an interesting one.
So next up, we're heading over to the lab to slap together some metal and wires. Get ready to hear our own ideas for brand robots we'd like to see.
Where we slap together metal and wires, because that's how you make things.
We're going to slap some stuff together in this next portion.
Has this ever happened to you?
Stupid waffle stuck. Oh my God, Billy!
How about this? Well, it doesn't have to anymore. Introducing wafflebot.
Wafflebot!
Just pop the top, let that batter drop, and wafflebot does the rest. Make every breakfast a bot fest.
Thanks, Wafflebot! I love you.
Get the Christmas toy of the season while they're hot.
That was a clip from A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas, featuring Wafflebot, a robot that makes waffles. Will that robot idea be more or less crazy than the brand robot ideas we're going to share with you today? You're about to find out. So Patrick, basically what we had here was a little creative exercise where we decided to come up with, some robot ideas for robots that brands could use in specific ways. Now, we have no idea what the other person came up with. We've been working on separate sides of the lab here, slapping together metal and wires.
We don't know what's going to happen.
Well, these things, could short circuit at any time, knowing we're not robotics engineers in any way.
No.
We're just two guys who like to slap metal and wires together, right?
Yeah.
What was your approach here? How'd you come up with these?
I was just trying to find problems and solve them via a robot application.
Yeah. Here's one thing I will say. In thinking about this, I did try to keep mine as grounded in the present or near future. I don't have anything that's like, this robot will control the sun, or this robot will control the weather. These are all things I feel like could exist in the here and now, and you wouldn't be like, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, I did the same thing. You could make a robot do anything, but I felt like I kept mine pretty grounded to reality, too. To our own current day reality, for the most part.
Yeah. What could make life better for me? What are some, everyday problems I've encountered that a robot might be able to help me solve? What's something that a brand could have that would actually encourage or inspire me to buy or use their products?
This is the part where I diverge a little bit, because mine, I tried to attach them to a brand, but it wasn't always successful. So I will have that. I will have that.
I did tie mine, even if it was just an arbitrarily chosen brand, mostly just so I could give them stupid names.
I'll have to think of stupid names for mine. I don't have any really dumb names. I'll start off. My first robot, they're airport robots. Now, you might be asking, what do you mean airport robots, Patrick? Let me tell you. From baggage check-in to flight attendants, hell, maybe even the security guys who happen to drag people off of flights nowadays. Hello, United. And this is where my brand could be tied to United. Robots like the ones we're seeing from Marble would be great in the confines of an airplane aisle. It's not necessarily a new robot, but think of when you look at this Marble robot, which we'll have links to in the show notes. Do you want more coffee, drinks, food? The robot would come to your seat and work its magic, right? Payment could be done at the robot's interface or via a smartphone app. Given airlines and their desire to charge for everything, there would be costs associated with this new type of flight attendant. I think that type of robot would work really well there. And, you think about the baggage check-in and those kinds of really minimal tasks that can be accomplished very easily by a robot. And again, I get I'm taking out the human element here and, taking away a job from a real person. But sometimes, I feel like airports are one of those places where, for whatever reason, the people working there are never that great at customer service to begin with. So a robot might even be a better experience for most people.
Yeah, I tell you what, I could see a scenario where you walk in the door of an airport and just stick your bag in a robot and it prints you out a ticket and charges you however, whatever, and just takes it off to wherever it needs to go. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
I'm trying to think in my mind, what's a good name for your robot? I was actually just thinking Porter because they're, they're kind of transporting if they're transporting stuff for you.
Yeah, I like that. Porter.
Airports are definitely a place where you could use a little more efficiency and helpfulness on occasion, and maybe robots could help out with that.
Yeah, I think they could. What's your first?
My first one's really simple, and it solves what I think is a pretty simple problem. Maybe it's not an everybody problem, but it's a problem that could be solved in a cool way and a convenient way, and it could happen. It could happen right now. So that problem is you go to buy like a pair of glasses or sunglasses and you just can't find a pair that quite fits your face or, just what you're looking for. Enter Ray Ray, the Ray-Ban robot. So You'd go to the store, you'd talk to Ray Ray. He'll ask you a few questions about what you're looking for. He has a scanning machine that it can gauge the shape of your face and give you some suggestions, and then right there he creates a custom pair of glasses for you and just spits them out. 5, 10 copies, he can give them to you. It's just a simple, fast, and effective way to get your glasses, in this case, with this brand, specifically sunglasses. And, he could have a funny, cool personality to him. He's probably wearing sunglasses himself when you walk in.
So I'm assuming this solves a problem that you find yourself having.
Oh, yeah. I'll go to the store and scanning through 20 pairs of sunglasses, and they're like giant on my face or just stupid looking. Be nice if I could just walk up to a robot. I tell him what I'm looking for. He takes a look at my face, and he says, here's what I'm going to give you. You cool with that? And I'm like, yes. And then he prints them out for me.
And your name, Ray Ray?
Or Ray's. I don't know.
Why not just Ray?
It was originally Ray, and then I made it Ray Ray. Now I'm regretting that decision. Ray's a little cooler, huh?
Yeah.
One more element I just came up with. He's voiced by Ray Liotta.
Oh, Ray Liotta.
You looking for some glasses? Because that's what Ray Liotta sounds like.
Yeah, you looking for some glasses? You don't like them? What do you mean you don't like them? Sounds nothing like Ray Liotta, but... I just like how he became hostile.
Does a Ray Liotta impression, right? I know. That's what's going to happen pretty much. This robot will get angry pretty quick. I'm sick of getting people glasses. That's all you do. That's your job.
I made those from scratch, and you don't like them?
It'd be funny because people would be like, I'll just go there for the personality of the robot. The glasses are terrible.
Man, you got to go check out Ray Ray's.
Maybe it's a bad idea. Maybe it's not, but... That's my robot.
Welcome to Ray Ray's, where we make sunglasses for you whether you like them or not. Oh, that's great, man.
For Ray Ray's opens next week. I won't be surprised.
Yeah, I don't know if I could beat that. I don't know if any of my robots could beat that now.
It's, it went in an interesting direction for my number one.
Your first and last robot. Unfortunately, I have to follow up that.
But we have to move on. We have to.
So my next robot is a handicap accessible robot, maybe from a brand like Uber. Mm-hmm. Okay, because it's going to transport people, right? Think about it. There are a lot of handicap inaccessible buildings in the world. Ones without elevators or ways for someone impaired to get from one floor to the next. What if there were these robots that could either carry you to the second or third floor if you can't walk the stairs, or maybe it's just a robotic device that has a tank-like tread and a seat that can move upstairs easily, so you sit in it, strap in, and it takes you to the next floor. As Uber's tagline so eloquently says, get there, your day belongs to you. And that's the handicap accessible Uber robot. What do you think?
I think it's a really good idea. It's great.
It's kind of like the seat elevator, like from Gremlins. You remember Gremlins?
Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Look, it's no Ray Ray, okay?
Idea.
It's no Ray Ray.
I like the intention of your idea. Ray Ray has made everything funny now. It's hard to get out of that. What's it like? Is it like a chair? Or is it a human-like robot that's picking you up? What's this robot look like?
Well, I thought, the first robot, which is a little bit further off in the distance, would be more of like your robots from Interstellar, or like, humanoid robot where they'd be able to carry you up the stairs or at least help you. There's some people, they don't actually need someone to carry them, but they just need some help. And so maybe it's got some way for them to hold on to it like a railing. Or the other one is where it's just like a little seat with tread in it. It's a tank for the stairs.
I like where your brain's at. I like where you're going with that. I think someone could polish it up a little bit. All right. My next one is for the retail environment, specifically the Gap. Why the Gap? Why not? This is Gertrude, the Gap style assistant. So this is a lot like Case or Taskman. Stop laughing, man. This is serious. No laughing in the lab. Now, what Gertrude does is Gertrude uses data to assist you in finding and picking out clothes. So basically, this would be a robot that would come up. You're trying on something at the Gap. Because Gertrude starts with a G and so does Gap. That's why I chose the Gap. So basically, you're trying on some clothes. Gertrude would come over. She could take pictures of you wearing the clothes so you could see yourself wearing the clothes, show you different angles. She can also, using data and algorithms, tell you whether the clothes look good. For example, a pair of pants makes you look heavier or misshapen. She can give you that information. She can also find things that fit your style or the things you're buying, make recommendations to you. And unlike a human, you'll feel more like you can trust Gertrude because it's all coming from data. So in a way, it's all kind of objective. There's no like, is this person just trying to sell me more stuff? Though I guess you could be like, is Gertrude just programmed to sell me more stuff? So that could be a problem. But the idea is, just come in, kind of be your personal assistant, go get you clothes if you need clothes, to help you find the clothes you're looking for rather than you just walking around and looking. So that's Gertrude, the Gap style assistant. What do you think of that one, Patrick?
So I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the Amazon Echo Look.
The Echo Show?
No, the Echo Look, Amazon's attempt at that, where it's actually a little camera. Basically, you put on an outfit and then it will learn your style and it will make suggestions based on what you're wearing and everything. So they're actually attempting something very similar to this, although this would be in the Gap store, right?
This would be in store. Yeah, so maybe you could even take that Amazon idea and just, creating a robot that interacts with you in the store.
Yeah, that's great. And it's going to suggest clothing whether you like it or not.
Gertrude would also be voiced by Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
You don't like the pants? Wear the pants. The other thing that would be good about this for the brand is, you're capturing all that customer information and data and providing a unique, high-tech experience coming in the store, especially right now. Nobody else is giving you a robot to help you find your clothes. Go into some other store where they don't have robots. What do I care?
That would probably not be great for the brand, but I like the idea. And I think that it does have potential. I mean, obviously, Amazon's got the same sort of idea going on in their Amazon lab. So, I didn't know if you had seen that, but it's kind of like that. I mean, although it's just a camera, it interacts with Amazon, so it's going to give you more brands than probably just, one specific. But if you like shopping at a store and you're going to go into that store anyway, you're probably going to want it to give you suggestions from that store, right? So it makes sense for that, and I think it would work.
Which is, I think, a lot of what retail brands in particular are trying to do now online, or even Amazon, creating these automated, intelligent, more customized, more personalized experiences where they're actually looking at what you're shopping for, what your preferences are, and trying to cater more to that.
Yeah. I would start off in a
high-end store?
I'd start off, a little bit higher end, and probably just for females. I don't know if dudes would be all that into it. You know what I mean? So, that's why the limited, I think, is all women.
I could almost see it being better with men.
Really?
A man might be more apt to use or trust a robot than a woman. I don't know if that's true. This is based on nothing, but just a, thought.
Yeah, I guess
women might like the browsing, shopping part more than men do. So men might be looking to cut out that extra step and just get the robot to do the work.
That's probably true. You have a point there for sure. I guess if it was based on data, it could work. As long as you don't go too far out of their comfort zone, because that's the key, right, with a guy.
Yeah.
If you go too far out of his comfort zone, then he probably won't try it. That's a good idea. I like it.
Well,
I like it.
It's, it's like all of them. There's a grain there, a kernel of something.
Yeah.
Let's get on to your final robot contender.
My last one here is it's a nuclear robot. This idea doesn't have a specific brand tied to it, but what about the people who have to work around nuclear sites and sites with toxic chemicals and waste and have robots do these jobs? In the United States alone, between 1949 and 1989, due to the Cold War, demand for increasingly destructive and powerful nuclear weapons, in places like New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, laborers were exposed to very large amounts of radiation in the form of dust on their clothing and skin. And studies have shown the families of these workers have shown increased incidence of radiation-induced cancers, miscarriages, cleft palates, and other birth defects. So I thought, what if you had robots doing these types of jobs? Again, they would have to be a mix of very mechanical robots with, at some point, more humanoid robots that can accomplish the same types of tasks.
Somebody's got to be working on this, right? Because talk about one thing you don't want people working around. I mean, that's it, right?
I was just listening to a news report. They were talking about nuclear plants. Having people man these chemicals is just not a great idea at all,
It's crazy. That's where all our robots should be going. Ray, you're going to the nuclear plant. So yeah, it's a great idea. Helping the world, making the world better.
Even if it was necessary, even if a person needed that job, man, I would never wish that on anybody, to have a job like that, because it's not good for them or their families. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They must be sold that it's safe somehow, because I would think most people would be like, I guess if you're in a position, though, where you need a job, you need a job. And your robot would be putting Homer Simpson out of work. So there's that. So from that global, large-scale, epic robot invention to something much, much smaller. Not quite as small as sunglasses, but close. That's right, car washing. I introduced to you SUDS. It's an acronym, SUDS. That's the Subaru Utility Detailing and Scrubbing Robot. It comes with the car. It's a free incentive to buy. And basically what you do is you want to clean the outside of your car, you strap SUDS on there, and he just goes to work. You go inside, and overnight, he cleans the outside of your car. You can also use him inside. Just put him in there. He knows exactly what to do to vacuum up the inside, clean the interior, polish everything up. Inside and outside car cleaning robot, especially valuable in the winter when you're not necessarily going to the car wash or washing your car outside. You could just come home, tell SUDS to go to work for you, and you got a clean vehicle the next day. That's SUDS. Available now.
At a Subaru dealership near you. So it's like a car Roomba.
Yes, it's exactly what it is.
Okay. I like that. I like the fact that it washes your car overnight. I feel like you could probably make it so that it plays off the magnets, like it's magnetic some way, so it plays off the metal of the car, and it just maybe hovers above the car. So it doesn't touch the car, actually, but it's so powerful that it...
I like that.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, you don't want to scratch the car, I guess.
Right. That's a cool idea. I like that a lot, actually.
Just one of those things, it's kind of a pain to do sometimes.
I could see it as an add-on. You buy a $1,200 navigation system for your car. You could buy this thing and it's added value.
I was thinking of more of like a dealer incentive, like buy your Subaru today, get your free
SUDS.
SUDS. I was like, what's it called?
SUDS. Yeah, that's a great problem, and you solved it.
Well, if you have a problem, I'll solve it.
Check out the hook while the DJ revolves it. Yeah, no, that's cool. If you could just hook that thing up at night and it's done in the morning when you come out.
Yeah, shiny car when you wake up.
Yeah, nice.
What we've really realized is if you take any robot and give it the voice of Ray Liotta, it'd probably be a success.
Look, I'm SUDS. I'm
cleaning your car. What do you want?
I cleaned your car overnight. What'd you expect?
Well, some good variation of robots. You never know what's going to come out of these creative design exercises we do, and this one definitely lived up to the hype.
Well, not every idea is a good idea, but sometimes even the bad ones spark good ideas.
Yes. And on that note, let's get our final nugget of human wisdom.
So today's final nugget of human wisdom is pretty simple, and it starts with a question. Could robots be beneficial to the human race? Will they be able to provide value that people cannot? I'd say absolutely. But nothing in life is black and white. Our world is imperfect. That doesn't mean we can't strive for it, to try creating robotic solutions for problems that exist. The same goes for marketing solutions. To quote Will Smith in the movie I, Robot from 2004, can a robot write a symphony? Can a robot turn a canvas into a beautiful masterpiece? In which the robot replies, can you? And that profound statement is how I'll leave you humans today.
I like it. Any reference to a robot zinging Big Willie style. Ooh, robot burn.
Robots burning humans. Well, that's it for today's episode, everyone. You can find current and past episodes of the podcast on speakinghuman.com, where you can also enter now to win a new pair of AirPods. What better way to listen to the podcast than on a new pair of awesome wireless Bluetooth headphones?
I love it. Email us your thoughts on today's show or let us know your awesome brand robot idea. Feedback@speakinghuman.com. That's feedback@speakinghuman.com. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Speaking Human. Catch you then, humans.
Speaking Human.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.